Hello everyone, Emanuele Lusca, the Politicator, today with you, Tuesday, the 4th of November, 2025. Today we are English, yes, we're going English, and we are live on Facebook, on the page Il mio primo ministro, on my YouTube account, and on my X account. And here we have to launch a few things and to talk about the UIS, the Universal Identification System today, and to make a special call to the BSV Earth or the BSV community. We will explore all this field because the Universal Identification System, UIS.world is the website, will be a platform that will be created on the Bitcoin Satoshi Vision blockchain. Hence, the so-called BSV community should be the first entity to get the information and acknowledge what is going on and what this is all about. Well, this is very complicated. It's a huge and articulated project, but and it's been built in the last decades or more by me and other people that cooperated to test and check everything I'm doing and I'm putting into operations. So on the website you can find the papers related to the project. Yes, more than one, but basically the one that is really describing the Universal Identification System is the number 8, but this is the start of the whole system, and it all starts with the identification. Yes, because we terrestrial human beings, in my opinion, need now an identification system, a new identification system, fully legal and fully free from the old logic that are managing the identities on Earth. And why this is so important? Because we are discovering that the identity document basically, and your identity, your fictional character, because that is the identity at the governmental, at the society level. You have a piece of identity which is a document, but that document is not you, is your fictional character, is the persona that is built on the terrestrial human being to identify that terrestrial human being. And so we have a new system now that is free from the boundaries that are arbitrarily or politically established by the power that is still in place, but I call it the power that was, because many people now are awakening to this truth that we basically are the value, and we produce the value, and the chain of values on Earth are dual-sided, linked to the identification system and then to the politic of the place where you're living. I'm not using this word state deliberately, and I will explain you why. And hence, the legality of the document is established not by you, but by a third party, by a system that is in place, and you have no possibilities to change, intervene in whatever manner, except the way that everyone knows is to be and try to get into the system and change the laws, which is very difficult because the party system is designed just to foster itself basically, and not to change for the good of the people. So this is well-known argument. So I'm just introducing this because here we have a solution. This is the proposal of a solution. And this is only possible with these new instruments that we have now on Earth, that we, terrestrial human beings, created for ourselves. One of those is the blockchain. Another one is the AI. And so I personally, instead, I created a voting system, a new voting system, which is much more effective than the ones that we are having now, that I call the positive vote, that you, every one of you knows. You just choose one option, you give your positive uh, quantum of energy if you want, and that's it, it's done. So now we have the dual vote, the perfect choice and the dual vote, which is another part of the project, but is a method of vote in itself, and you can use it, you can learn it. So you can download the paper of this on the same website. So again, the UIS is a very complicated and large project that includes all these pieces, but to begin with, again, is a platform for the identification built on Bitcoin Satoshi Vision. So let's go to the community issue and to the identification issue, because BSVers, where are the BSVers? I want to explain, I want to tell you about this project, what is going on here. So you should be interested, because you should be the ones, the first one to join eventually the project, to know about it. And yes, you can discard it, but please be sure that you know it for what it is before discarding. Otherwise, you're not making a choice, or you are making a bad choice by definition, because it's not an informed choice. You're not really discarding what you know, but you're discarding a thing that you don't know. And I'm sure you don't really know what this is all about, because it's very deep. But I'm here to explain now everything about this. That's why we have the new website, and we also have the new X account. Oh, I wasn't ready for this. Yes, this one, the UIS underscore world account, if it will load it. And yeah, please feel free to ask things to the Politicator, to Emanuele Nusca, comment, whatever. I'm open to any critique, to any questions, and questions also will help me to explain this system. Okay. So the Twitter account is not loading. Let's try to refresh. Yeah, there it is. So one Earth, one people is so discounted. Yes, but now it's scientific. We cannot change this. We cannot say this is incorrect anymore, because now we know that we are 8 billions, more or less, of entities that are doing things, if you want, in this space, and this one space for all. Yes, is fractally divided, is vast. We can move around it, but we are always manifesting ourselves on Earth and doing actions together as terrestrial human beings. So that's what happened when we come together into something. We start to find new definition, and that's where a community should emerge, because you have the definition of that community. So to begin with, the abstract of what a community is explained on the manual, of the user manual of the perfect choice as well, which is translated in many languages as well, in 16 languages to be precise. So now we are going to watch the PDF of the English version, because here we have the correct definition of what a group is, or a community, of course, because it's the same thing at the end of the day. So what a group is an ensemble of things or persons distinct from one another, but joined together so as to form a whole. A group is a whole thing. You can take it all together at once, but the things that makes a group visible, witnessable to the others is the fact that inside you have a kind of homogeneous group, once again, of specialities, of qualities of its elements. You can recognize the elements of a group by their perhaps shape, their color, their a thing that identifies the elements. Okay, so if you are not already identified in something and you want to share this identification, or you're not sharing this identification element with within the group, that means with the others, directly, peer to peer, one another, we exchange, we have in common because we recognize each other element in common of existence in the whole realm of the whole on earth and in the universe. Okay, this means that the only one in the world that can create groups that by definition are already fictional characters, because we exist already on earth. So why we are in the need to create a group if not to do something? And the same creation or identification of the group is already a something that has been built. So dots are joining together, hopefully. What I want to say with this, that I want to introduce and make it visible the fractal structure of Earth, because we are one group of people on Earth. That's why one word, one people. Because yes, now everyone or most of us knows, is undeniable, we are one group of terrestrial human beings, and you can know who is a terrestrial human being. Why? Because now you have the definition. If you're not sure of this, yes, now we have a steady definition, very precise, scientific, that is written in the book and in the papers and is verified by many years of disputes with me and other terrestrial human beings. And so there is no one up to now, in my knowledge, it means that I speak with, that at the end of the debate says, I still not agree with this definition. So everyone agrees, they recognize themselves in this definition. And in the book that I wrote this year, which is the final work, the release, so of the and the start of the UIS for real, at the to be perfected, it is also debated with AI. So you will find out how the AI will address this issue, what the modification it proposes, and why I discarded, and then why the AI accepted as well this definition for what we are going to do. So now it's up to you, my dear fellow terrestrial, to dispute this definition if you don't like. And dispute, by the way, means only one thing: improve other than criticize. Because yes, you can criticize, but if you don't have an improvement, or you don't specifically say why you're not agree on which significance or words, well, there's not an improvement. So it means that is already perfected. And this word perfected is as well explained. Where is the manual? Here it is, on the dual vote manual. What is perfect? What it means? It is perfect, something that is done brought to the end of its own purpose, finished, completed with all its elements at the best and maximum stage of its evolution. And so the question is, when we know that a thing is perfected and when we know that is at the best and maximum stage of its evolution and is absolutely totally completed flawless, well, that's where politics and judgment of the terrestrial human being comes into place. And overall, intellectual honesty, because if we terrestrials are intellectual dishonesty, at this point there is no longer nothing else to debate. But that's why we are in the apocalypse, in this crazy time period of time, which is few years, but now we are really going through the end of the central period, which is the worst, will be the worst the next couple of years, because we are closing this 2025, which is the number 9. So we are closing a fractal of a cycle, of course, and we are going into a 10 next year, which is the completion of the cycle. So we are launching the UIS perfectly aligned with this temporal, with this timeline, and this shift that is involving the whole humanity. There is no way to cheat about this, because there are many scientific proofs. The thing is that there is not a particular specific science that you can trust about this, because this is again the revelation. You have to feel it, you have to understand yourself, and you have to self-elect, or simply remember that you are a terrestrial human being overall. Or to start with, before to be a citizen, before to be whatever else a role on earth you want to express, you are expressing, or the other says that you are expressing, doesn't matter. You are a terrestrial human being, first foremost, from your first breath to your last breath, or in between. And that's where the more specific considerations and that are in the book, and that I'm eager and willing to do with you here on live shows, and every philosopher, scientist, whoever, because we are all terrestrial human beings. So I will always treat you, or try at least to treat you, as a terrestrial human being, or I will treat you as the one that you demonstrated me and you will tell me you are. So please tell me what you are. I want to know now, because I'm here declaring you what I am, what I think I am, and I put a certain effort to demonstrate this to myself and the rest of the world. So this is the base of the UIS, a standard definition that is become standard and ossified, like this word that in Bitcoin world is recurring lately. This definition on the this website is terrestri.info, terrestri.info, not or yeah. So is becoming ossified, is more than 10 years that is around on the websites everywhere. So, and I'm talking with people, so people is getting accustomed to this definition, and now it's up to you to agree on it. Use it, please use it. I know it's hard, I know it sounds strange, I know it's people will will look at you in a weird way. I have the experience of this, more than a decade of experience of this. I'm the weirdo, okay, because I'm talking the truth, the simple, basic, blatant truth. I am a terrestrial human being, first and foremost. But so now this is law. This must become the first law. Okay? I'm Italian, of course. Why? What that means? So why of course? Who said of course? I'm a US citizen. What that means? I'm a Canadian. I'm Nigerian. I'm Bulgarian. I'm Russian. I'm Australian. I'm whatever. Yes, you want to be that, but that's your fictional character. Please don't confuse yourself with that. Use that properly, manage that properly. Impossible to do with the actual mafia state systems that are in place that we build in time. So now we are getting to the end of times because all this is collapsing somehow, and this is linked both way, of course, with the economy. That's why now we're moving into Bitcoin, new economy, and we are finally addressing the monetary issue, the money issue, because money can only exist within a group of people, within a community, finally. So, again, to have a community, you need to have identified people or a common trait that identifies all of them from an external point of view, something that is objective or is objectified in time, and this is by proofs, of course, by proofs. Everything now must be verifiable. We are talking here the maximum science. This is not a new philosophy. It's the end of the philosophy, as I said multiple times, because now we are getting to the final truths, so to speak, of the arguments. That doesn't mean the absolute truth on everything, but yes, very close to it. So the margin of errors when we come into politics, if we want, of course, because all this is delegated to the free will of the terrestrial human being, means me and you, all of you. There's 8 billions minus 1 here talking. Okay, so now I really think we can, some of us, change this paradigm, start building. Who are the ones? Well, let's start from a small community. So that's why today I'm talking, referring and calling out for the BSV community. Who are they? Who are you? Well, again, I say this many times in multiple spaces, but now I'm recording this once and for all. It will stay there on YouTube, hopefully not on the blockchain, but it's the same. It's said on a public platform many times, so you know my thought on this, and you know that the BSV community never existed and does not exist. Is pretentious, is fictitious, is imaginary. In fact, no one said I am from the BSV community. I belong, I'm part of whatever expression you want to use. You see how important it is. No one feels part of that. There is not a page, there is not an official place that identified people goes. There are some fractal things here and there, but I know that it's all basically partial and so fake. So, ladies and gentlemen, now it's time to build the real BSV community, which, by the way, it will always be a small group within the only one group of terrestrials. Again, that one, you cannot undo that. Now it's declared, it's visible, it exists. You must just cope or leave the game. Somehow, just go in hermitage somewhere, do else, because the earth is for terrestrial people, terrestrial human beings. No one can, you know, with reason, of course, and rhetoric dispute this anymore. yes, you can ask for explanation, we can debate about this, but now it's time to join to a consensus on these basic things. Otherwise, no political structure of truth can be built upon, because again, identity is the first brick of everything is social and political on earth, and these two things goes together, and we are doing both. So that's why when you have a society, a group of people, you always have money, and now we have a lot of monies on earth with terrestrials, and in fact we are always trying to cheat on each other, exchanges these values on the official usual old school markets, even the most advanced that there is that platform is super fast transaction in nanoseconds, I can play every bot I want, is still cheating, is a casino, and now we know that it's scientific, it's proved. Why? Because to start with, the whole world is managed by fiat monies: euro, dollar, yen, and few else. That's it. That's the world of money. Fiat monies that no one of us never managed, never really uh, politicate into, because that money is the blood of society and should reflect the goods that we have and we produce. It's not money producing goods, are the hands of the terrestrials, the brain and the hearts of the terrestrials all together, because the hands without the brain and the hearts all together cannot work. It's one thing. Society is one thing. It's blood. Money must be one thing for all. And remember, again, as you remembered before, that you are a human being, terrestrial human being, before to be a citizen, money is not the value, is the representation of the values. Remember, please. Gold could be a value, silly, but still, because it's a material thing, it's tangible. Okay, but money is purely, primarily a public agreement. So this is another definition that I wrote on the book, and I always dispute. I have it in Italian, but I can try to quickly translate into English. I did many times. So it's a public agreement, money, coin, and the number. Okay, it's a public agreement because everyone knows, and everyone should be in this agreement, because yes, I agree, I accept that money. So what is on this agreement? What should be? Because never there, but what it should be, the mechanics. So how this money is made, how it works, digital, physical, whatever, how it's made, the mechanics of money, and its value and its name, because money has a name. Euro, dollar, Bitcoin, core, cash, Satoshi, Vision, the original one. So be careful, because money, it's a concept, and this one always was one, but now we are fixing it, we are writing in the stone, we are setting in the stone with a definitive all including definition. So money is a public contract agreement that defines the mechanics and the value of the unit of exchange, of the named unit of exchange. So this is money in absolute. Then we have the fiat monies, that where everything is built upon, the so-called modern society are built now upon dollar, euro, and other fiat values. And the rest of it, you know that there is a derivative. It's instruments over instruments over instruments, but they're all go back to fiat money. And now we know, because it's been years explained in many ways, shape, or form, that you do not control fiat. Fiat is fully controlled by few people in the bank that are close with a few people in the government, and it's just one mafia state. Again, here I demonstrated this word. It's just one entity, mafia state. But look, remember, who is inside that entity is one of us, is some of us, still terrestrials. Yeah, they could be reptilians. I don't know, someone said this and that. Yeah, please show me. I can try, I can believe that, but I don't care if they are here and they are able to manage things as we terrestrials are. We are compatible. So let's suppose they are all terrestrial human beings, because in my eyes they are. At the end of the day, they die as well, like anyone else. They disappear at a certain point. So why we have few people printing money for everyone else? Okay, now it's time to stop all this, but not really stop that system, but building a new system. And we have a lot of that done, because we have Bitcoin. We have developments on the true Bitcoin, which is BSV. What we are lacking? What are we lacking? This is the question. So we are lacking politics and truth. So I'm here to do this, okay? To bring the final piece of the puzzle that joins the every instruments of the best instruments we have on earth. And one of these, and it's pivotal and it's main, is Bitcoin, the original protocol. Second one is the dual vote system, is the perfect choice system. Third one is the one people public trust body of documents that you can find here on this website on some pages. Please let me check if for you where. Yeah, here on connections. You swap on the second page on the first tab, references. You will find The Identity Cycle, the book written by Ian Grigg. Great book, and this is a piece of history, because this book ends just where the UIS starts, because this book tells the whole history, meaning, and everything else about identity, what that is, the identity cycle, okay? And so it's undisputable. So now the UIS fixes or evolve it, or is another part of the story that is going to encapsulate it, basically the whole history of identity, because now we have, humanity has the proper instruments that works on every level and every place of earth at the same time, because we are all connected via internet. So it's done, basically. We just need to build and do and learn the final operations of this. This is a process that, as you can see, is going on since ever. I didn't start it. We started collectively, and we are building collectively, and we are, completely every day testing and discarding and making new experience on different paths, and we find walls, so we go back and find another one. That's the struggle, that's the wars, that's the fighting among us terrestrials. in any way, shape, or form on Earth. So now we need to stop this, or better, I personally stopped this time ago. That's why I embrace through politics the art of negotiating with other people, and I build systems to do this. So let's go back to the universal identification system and the BSV community. So now I'm expecting that everyone from BSV community will at least say hello to me, to this project, put a like, a comment, a share. I want this to be talked about because I'm building this since 2012. So just 3 years after Bitcoin really born, and I'm following the money evolution since 2005. So this year really is 20 years I'm working on this. I changed my life to realize this project, all I'm doing. So I think it at least requires half an hour of attention. BSV communities by your side, also because this project should affect the BSV blockchain itself, because I really want to bring this knowledge. That's why all these translations in many languages, as much as I could in the past, and I keep doing a huge struggle to speak English, Italian. This morning I was trying to explaining something in Spanish on X Spaces. I try to speak French as well. So please, now I'm calling out for your help as well. Please help me to share this, and I want to see this shared to begin with within BSV community. Because yes, as someone said, we need to eat our own shit now. I'm eating the BSV shit since 2019, 2020. Okay. And you know what that means. You know how painful that is. But I'm not leaving because I was looking for the proper blockchain since 2012. I couldn't realize anything up to 2019 just because I didn't understand the thing in this huge mess that I learned in time while I was developing the perfect choice. Because, by the way, that can be done on paper, and all the other instruments. The UIS basically it works even without blockchain. It could be built on a private Excel, but it makes no sense. It makes no absolute sense because everything goes back to the certification of everything. So the certifications now must be public, and the only instrument on earth that can give us this type of thing is the Bitcoin, and the original one. Why? Once again, because the signatures are untouched. The structure that Satoshi gave to the signature is untouched, and that's the most valuable thing of Bitcoin, because the chain of responsibilities. Okay, the other protocols just cut that thing out, and is an irreversible process. I think you BSVers should know this. Or please get your knowledge. So I really want to see now some reactions out of this video from the BSV community. I don't want to tell names in this live show or in this video, but all of you guys, you know me. We already talked here and there on posts, on spaces. Well, now this is my call to action. And I really hope you will have a look to the papers. You will call me to debate, to understand more of this, because there is a lot. There is a lot for the next 1,000 years, and to really pump and make BSV and money, because never was, it's still a game, BSV as every other blockchain. See, yes, I'm telling the truth here, guys. I'm the first one of you BSVers, of us BSVers, if you want, that is telling the truth. No one is. Sorry, I had to say this, okay? And I will demonstrate this. It's demonstrated already, but still, I'm here. Come on, let's do it. Okay, we have to tell the truth. It's a joke, but the technology is there. We spend a lot of effort, 17 years of effort, starting from Satoshi, the first one, that also should respond at this point to these papers, since he's reading a lot every day, you know, as we can imagine, but not one single word in 4 years, 5 years with the Politicator, or about the methods that the Politicator is talking about, or about the definition of money that the Politicator is giving, or about the evolution of Bitcoin as a proper money and not a silly fucking joke. So I'm now expecting this. I want to see myself on your live shows, on your blogs, as I saw in these past years every other project. And please check my Facebook, check my Twitter, check my previous videos. I always sponsored and talked and tried every fucking things on BSV. I spent many BSV in time buying all these shit NFTs, and in all these years, none of you ever talked about what I'm fucking doing for this system, which is huge and is gonna fucking work, because it's the only thing that can work on these fucking things, because it brings truth on a political level where no one else can do in the world, because no one is crazy like me at this point. Okay, as I said multiple times, I am the Satoshi of politics. That's why I'm public. So do the parallelism with Satoshi, guys. Please move over your brain and let's fucking talks in truth, and explore more and be ready to test and cope with the reality, with the matter of facts, because that's what I want. All the speculative games, all the trading games, all the markets of the old age, all these scandals, exchanges, talks, TV, blogs are gone. And you know that. You know that. You're smart. If you are in BSV, I know you're smart. But please, now you need to demonstrate it and drop the last coin of bullshit. Because unless you're not clear 100% and you retain a fiat lie within you, you're not going to do shit. So this is the proof I'm putting on, trying to demonstrate myself to me and to the rest of us terrestrials, but also I'm putting out instruments for all of us to do the same, so we can recognize each other and we can certify each other as an officer, right? When the UIS system will be an application on the web. I already explained that application step by step, and that is not on the UIS site, but is on my profile. I think it's the pinned video on top. Yes, this one. You will have, and I will go through now as well this PDF, but very quick. In this video here, you have the full explanation of the whole system slide by slide. So once again, all the technicalities of the papers are there, are discussed now by many terrestrials. And the application is feasible, you will see here now. Just give me a second, because now I need to close this and open this. Okay, we'll go quick into this slideshow, but this is your phone screen. Is the basic design, is the sketch, if you want, of the UIS application that will start with 3 buttons: the Bitcoin wallet, the button of the info and everything else, and the and your word, basically. So you can see as a social application, but is made to implement the terrestrial jurisdiction. Is one jurisdiction above overall, and because it's made on full truth, pure full truth in science and everything else, because everything is debatable publicly, and we start already from a high bar, from a really high bar of understanding and public knowledge. So I want to just give me a second, please. Yes, this is better, I think, or the one previous one. Sorry. Okay. So you will have the wallet, you will have to do some declaration, but then what you will do with this application to become with, you will compile and your identity piece document that, yes, will be digital at this point, but will be fully controlled by you, because it's on the blockchain. It's not giving you by the government, it's giving you by eventually me and the others. So hopefully you, with your help, building this, because I build the whole infrastructure and the basic of the basic thing, but the application developing is not started yet. The first action is the website, the publicity of the full thing. But it's been 2 years that this file is up. Okay, so now we're really starting to gather funds to build the application. That's why you have the book, The Quantum of Knowledge. So this is the application, how it works. You create your document to begin with, and you make several declarations that are all the documents I showed you already and I talked already. Please watch the video on my X profile or my YouTube channel. Look around. But your document will be unconfirmed, not certified, because you compiled by yourself. So that's where the magic happened. Later on, you will look on Earth for other terrestrials that compiled the identity piece within the UIS system, and you will certify them and they will certify you. That's where you have the mechanism of the dual selfie. And all this will happen with the help of the AI that will help us to not make mistake and whatever else. But there is no government involved whatsoever. It all started from scratch. So now the project is here. Please go look how it's made, what is said, look at the papers, because all this is well explained in the paper as well. So this is a full legal process, because it's the exact mechanics that the states are put in place when you go in an office and ask for a document, basically. But now we can do it without. So we're not fighting the existing corporations and the existing state with this, but we are creating a new level of trust based on the maximum truth available on Earth. There is no more. we can just build more on it, just as the blockchain work. You can see that this action as a fractal of the blockchain modality, but with terrestrial human beings, because in effect, the spiritual writings from the past and from the actuality now always say that there is this karmic structure that, by the way, records your actions in the field, so you have a reaction. Okay, so this is a mechanism of truth that is based on everything is known, everything is affirmed and verifiable. Again, only what is verifiable goes through. Otherwise, we go back to politics. And now we know, by the way, how to do proper politics. Or, by the way, we are learning, and we have the Politicator that can tell, explain, and teach better. So, this is the UIS application, ladies and gentlemen, that will come. This is a sketch, a preview. Of course, you will have your wallet within this application, which is the first thing that you need to open, basically, when you will have the application, because the wallet is the way to do every operation. Everything happens on Bitcoin. Nothing is possible without the Bitcoin blockchain. Or again, as I said before, is it possible? But it makes no sense. That's why we are now at the cusp of the revelation, and the start of the terrestrial registry will really be, because there is not a better system, a perfected system like this. This is made respecting the highest standard of legal frameworks in the world. So please come to debate. But of course, the powers that are in place, they don't care, they don't want, they don't see it. There is no way to make them see that. And we terrestrials don't care, because the terrestrials do things for them. I'm doing this for me, to better my society, which is already there. Is already in place. The society is one, doesn't have a name, no longer has an identification, is the society. Well, here someone calls Italian society, but when I go through and I'm talking with people, with friends, or on the spaces, and calling them out, and I say, are you really one of the Italian people? Please declare, I'm one Italian people. No one wants to do. No one wants to do. Why? Because it has no sense anymore. It was a lie. No one ever really agreed to that. And now the lie is falling apart. This is the revelation, guys. You just need to cope now, because it's been said, not just from me, but from many people. Perhaps I have the quicker and best ways to just shoot at you. I'm sorry. That's why I'm always uncomfortable to talk with. But sorry, this is my characteristic. I must be as such. Otherwise, I would be Emanuele Nusca, the Politicator. Okay? So, thank you very much for the listening. I've seen someone coming up and down. I have no comment whatsoever, which is okay. And no like whatsoever, which is okay. Since 12 years, I'm doing live shows, and I'm really accustomed to this. So, but I'm keep doing, because I believe in this. I'm investing in this. There is really no better thing than this. And I want you verify what I'm saying. I don't want and I don't need to be believed once again. I don't want to be believed. I want to be checked. I want to be verified. I want to debate with you or see your doing, your systems, if they are really better than what I'm building. That's all. So, thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Emanuele Nuesca here. You find the link in the descriptions. I'm waiting for you on Earth. Bye bye.